Hello, this is Jane Stavum, Superintendent of the Sioux Falls School District, and this is our podcast. Join us for an audible look inside the Sioux Falls School District, where we'll put a spotlight on the people, places, and practices of our district. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast. And today I'm sitting in a circle of friends. This is very theater of us to do this way. I feel like maybe we should all kind of bust into improv here at some point. Maybe this is theater, a theatrical experiment. Well, we're here because we're going to talk about fine arts, and particularly theater, and what's going on here at Roosevelt High School for a next production, some of the things you've been in, and just all kinds of fun today. So first, I'm going to start off by introducing the person who oversees fine arts for our school district, and that is Shane Webben, and I take full credit because I believe I hired you, or at least a committee did.
Yes, very excited to be in the district, helping to lead the great things that are going on in all of our fine and performing arts.
Mm-hmm. And this is year
number 2.
Yep, year number 2. Goes quickly, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. And so next I'm going to introduce Julia Blaszek. And Julie, how long have you been here at Roosevelt?
This is my 3rd year at Roosevelt. Okay. I'm very happy to be here.
3rd year in the district as well?
Yes.
Okay, and were you teaching before that, or is this your first gig?
No, I have been teaching high school for 11 years. Before that, I was at SDSU working with the Oscar Larson Performing Arts Center.
Nice.
And I was teaching preschool in fine arts, and I've taught with USF for a while, so I've been around the block.
Preschool and fine arts, like, wow, there's an adventure.
Yes.
A lot of theatrical moments.
They get very into their roles.
Intentional and unintentional. And then Owen Hirsch. And Owen, you are the technical director?
Yes.
Tell us, what does that mean?
So I kind of deal with a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, light, sound, set building, kind of anything that really kind of goes on behind the actors. Mm-hmm. It's kind of my field of work. So
which is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We make it look very effortless when we have a performance, and yet there is so much happening behind the scenes and making sure things move and don't move and all kinds of good stuff. So we'll get to that. And then we have 3 students with us. So I would love it if you would just tell us your first name and what year you are, and maybe why you choose to be in theater in a nutshell.
Savannah Hoyer. I'm a senior, and I choose to be in theater because of all the amazing people and the community.
It is a strong community. Good job.
I'm Chris. I'm also a senior, and I love telling stories, and being on stage is one of the best things ever.
It's a great way to put it.
I'm Amiley, and I'm also a senior, and theater has just always felt like a home to me ever since I became a freshman, and it's just, like they said, the community and like performing on stage, it just brings you alive a lot.
Mm-hmm. So here's a fun fact for your day as we start this podcast. I just got a text message from a friend who lives in Nebraska, who happens to be the first and only guy I ever had to kiss on stage. Oh my gosh. And now we're like adults talking about aging parents and jobs and things like that. But I tell you what, there's a theatrical moment you never forget. So I'll just throw that out to get us started. Awkward on so many levels when you have that. But theater, it's a lot of fun. I was in community theater, high school theater, and so let's start with what you're working on right now. What's the production? What's the next production coming up?
A Little Princess.
A Little Princess. And who is playing the princess?
We don't know yet.
Give us an update.
We just had auditions, and they are eagerly waiting for the cast list to go out.
Hard.
It will go out tonight on RooseveltTheater.com.
Oh my.
And so they're very much eager, but I always like to give it on a Friday so they can go home, feel whatever feelings they have about the cast list, because every feeling is valid, and then by Monday we can come together and we can put on this production.
How many roles are in this production?
So there are 13 speaking roles, and I am actually casting 22 2022 because there is a lot of this production, how I'm going to be directing it. We're going to have shadows because A Little Princess is all about a dream, and she's very down on her luck. It's a drama, and her dad died, and she gets forced to live as a servant, and now she has these dreams to stay hopeful that she's a princess. And so as she's dreaming, we're going to create it into shadows. And so we are utilizing everybody to create these shadows, and we're using my students' favorite set piece, benches.
I feel a lot of black body stockings.
Yeah,
coming
so
on. Am
we'll
I hearing that right?
It will be really cool.
And this is the show that we're going to be bringing to one act this year.
Oh, great.
So this is the one we'll be performing down in Brookings.
Yep.
One acts.
Yes.
That's something that wasn't as popular, 20, 30 years ago. Tell us kind of about one acts. Have you all participated in one act? Give us a nutshell version of what's a one act.
A one act is a play that's usually like 45 minutes, maybe 30. And the one act state competition, a bunch of schools come in and they perform one act plays, and they compete against each other. They get critiques from judges, and at the end of the festival, everybody comes in and the judges give their sort of the awards to who was like outstanding actor, superior show, superior tech, things like that. And it's just a really fun way to see the art that other schools are putting on and meet new people in the same field of work that you're in.
It's such an interesting blend, isn't it? You're doing performance, you're getting critiqued, and you're meeting and kind of interacting with other people competitively, but yet it's hard to be competitive and be a theater person at the same time. It's not quite the same thing as other competitive areas. Have you won a one act before?
Yes, we got superiors the last 2 years. This is the first time Roosevelt has done it since I've come on. Before, they never were part of the one act festival. And so our first year we got superior, our second year we got superior technical, and every year we've gotten outstanding actors.
Very nice. Well, then you got a big bar to hold up there nice and high. How do districts decide, Shane, what you participate in, what you don't, what we fund, what we don't? How do we determine that?
We fund a pretty robust drama program in each of our schools, offering many different opportunities for kids. All of our schools participate in the one act. What I think is really great about how we have our one act here in Sioux Falls is we will have a night where all 4 schools will come together at one school to perform for each other and for their community, their families, before going out and competing, which is really great for our kids to see each other, but then their families get to see it too.
Yeah.
And this year it's on February 3rd.
Good to note.
But we offer all kinds of shows, from children's shows, seasonal shows, musicals, dramas, comedies, the one act. Our directors at all of our schools have the opportunity to think about the kids that they're working with at the moment to decide what's going to be some of the best shows that will engage their students, but also be really popular with their school communities. And I've just seen a lot of great shows that the community really has enjoyed getting to see.
I always think, ooh, that must be the best one I've ever seen. How can it ever get better? And then I go to the next one and go, oh, it was better. It's such a benefit for our community. I mean, we really have 4 quality high school programs, and if you go see a show, it is top notch. It's worth the price of admission, both literally and figuratively. So if you don't want to be on the stage, what other opportunities are there for the behind the scenes work?
There are a lot. There's props, costumes, hair and makeup, lights, sound, running crew, stage managers, and yeah.
Before we started recording, we were talking about a student I interacted with today that they don't want to be on stage. Did you have stage fright when you first started?
I would say not really, because I've always been
good to go on stage.
Yeah, like an extrovert a lot. So like right as I got on there, I was just full of energy and stuff. But that's all different for other people. And when I like told people that are shy on stage, I give them a little advice about it, and they did really well.
So would your family say that you're a drama queen?
Yes.
Would they?
Yes, they would. I think the whole theater department would too.
That's okay. You got to have some of that. When you think about selection, how do you choose what's going to be the next big show?
Well, I like to mix it up quite a bit. So recently, before I came, there's a lot of dramas, so I want to make sure to incorporate comedies. So I've done comedies quite frequently the last few years, but now we're getting back into the dramas so we can start making sure that they're equitable. I also take a look at the cast sizing, and so how many can be in this production and how many can I extend this to, because I sometimes don't know if this is going to have 75 people audition or if it will be 20. And so I have to take a look at how much can I expand it. I also take a look at the subject. So what kind of subjects are going to push the students technically, and what is going to push them for acting, and how can I make sure that the actors and the technicians are really growing their strengths for across an entire year, because I want to make sure that every single one will allow that to help the students.
You think of that growth over time, what the opportunities are from a freshman to a senior experience, and wanting them to have kind of a broad range by the time they are done. That's such good planning. When you think about the technical aspects of it and the professional version, you're both doing this as a profession, what's out there for kids post high school if they are theater all the way through? What awaits after school?
One of the greatest things is community theaters. Like we have one here in Sioux Falls. The community theater downtown is a amazing place. They're run by some really excellent people, and they do a lot of entry level stuff. So a lot of people starting out will go to the community theater and be like, hey, I want to look at doing X shows, because usually the community theater will have a list of shows up, and they're usually some of the greatest people that you can ever work with at the community theaters, because it's always people that they're there just for theater. They're not there for any other reason, but they're there to put on a show. And that's why it's such a good place to start, especially right out of high school, because you can stay local and you can stay around people that you're more familiar with, and it is really fun, and it's a lot more comfortable with that. But
my experience too with community theaters is just such a good intergenerational opportunity, and you just have such a neat mix of people, and it's good for the fabric of a community. And so we're fortunate. We also have a lot of theater opportunities on the younger end with the children's theater opportunities that exist. Have you guys been in those as elementary age students, or did you mainly start at middle or high school? When did you get involved?
In like my elementary school, we did Annie Junior.
Oh, well, that'll hook you right there. Yeah.
So that was like my first real opportunity.
Very fun. Tell me about your starting point.
My first show was The Puffs, which was 2 years ago. It was Blashik's third show at Roosevelt.
And it was really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
I played Voldemort, and I was barefoot the entire time.
Nice.
And I was so scared, but as soon as I got on stage, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I haven't stopped since.
Very nice.
Mine was also Annie in elementary school, and it was really fun. It kind of like got me into the feeling with theater, and then I did Beauty and the Beast at Memorial.
Oh, very fun. Those are good, iconic ones. I always wanted to star as Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music, but I think I probably now would have to be in the Mother Superior category. I think I've passed it. You got to go where your strengths are at certain times of life. If you were to encourage kids to get involved with theater, either on stage or behind the scenes, I'd love to hear from all of you. How do we get kids, first of all, connected to an activity, because we just know how important that is, but then why would you encourage them to get involved in theater or even just fine arts? What would you say?
fine arts is the most inclusive, activity that you could do in this building, because it's very hard to, everybody's good in their own way, and everybody, it's amazing how good of a community comes out of a group of people like this that just bond together so well, and and it's just that they end up being around each other for so long, and it's just becomes this kind of really tight-knit group, and it is really fun to be a part of it.
Yeah, good sense of belonging.
Yes.
Yeah. What would you say?
So we have this motto within and values within Roosevelt Theater, and ours are choose kindness and be inclusive. And so within that, we've always said that there's a place for you. And whenever somebody is even remotely interested, we tell them to invite another person in, that we have a place for you. What kind of skill sets do you have, or what do you want to learn? And so there's more than enough people who are willing to teach, and there's more than enough people who are willing to work with you, and you can come as you are, and we will find a place for you.
I love both of those. I want that on a t-shirt. Oh, there's a place for you.
got it.
Yes.
Oh,
So we
good.
have-
Okay,
That's been our.
I'm gonna need one of those. But just that, I love the bring a friend to or invite someone. Sometimes we just assume that kids know about it, or they see the poster, or they get the blast, and it really takes that personal touch of, no, seriously, come with me after school and at least try this.
I think a really big way that we've reached people, especially in more recent years, is like social media and posters for our plays and musicals. And what's really great about theater is how inclusive it is, like they've been saying, and how I've never felt unwanted or useless in the department, no matter what.
That's good. Even if you forget a line or forget a switch. Good.
Well, going off what Savannah said, we have been using social media a lot, and I'm actually the social outreach officer for the drama club. And I've been really wanting to use the social media to show this side of theater that is like a little family, and show how much fun we have, to really show people who aren't necessarily in the club or in the productions, like, this is a really fun place to be, and we all really enjoy being around each other.
That's good. Fun. It's got to be fun, or it's not worth doing. What else?
Some people are like afraid, oh, I don't have someone to go with me, or like, what if I don't make any friends? If one meeting, you will have like 3 friends. Like theater, like you'll go in thinking like you won't have that many friends. You'll come out with like, I don't know, like 30. Like theater, like they've been saying, is such a close-knit group, and like we are all family. Like it feels like a home. Like if you have a bad day, just come to theater and something will cheer you up.
Yeah.
Anything.
That's so good. That fun factor, belonging, all of those are the things that we really try and encourage. And I think sometimes people think, well, I've got to commit, this is going to cost a whole bunch of money, or I'm not going to be able to get there and back. How do you account for some of those things? Like if a student has trouble finding a ride, or maybe has some type of barrier, how do we get rid of those barriers?
Well, I have found that the students, I don't even need to ask, like any student to say, somebody needs a ride, because even within the first second, they're like, who doesn't have a ride, everyone? I've got a car, come with me. You'll come with, don't worry, I got you. Like they are, like, I don't even have to worry about it or bring it up half the time, anytime really, because they're already taking the initiative. We have a lot of leadership roles within theater, which is amazing. And we, our leaders within the drama club officers, our leaders for our technical areas, we have production meetings, and they take freshmen and sophomore and they start like training them on the roles, and because of that they've already started training them on how to make sure that they're in an inclusive environment by inviting them out to every place, by making sure that they have a ride. If they're hungry, we have the snacks. We have a great set of parents as well here at Roosevelt Theater, so for every production they help provide all of the food and snacks and meals for 3 weeks before the show.
That's great.
And so if they are hungry, there's no reason to be because there's always something for them. So we just have some really, really great parents, really great students, and great support from the other faculty as well.
It's a great place to be. Parents are just so critical to every activity. Sometimes we only think of it as boosters or, athletics, but boy, they are a huge part of fine arts. Just a little bit, homework. You're busy rehearsing, you're trying to memorize lines. When do you find time to study for an AP test or finals or just that nightly homework grind? What does that look like?
With the way how Blashik has our schedule laid out, so we get done roughly about 5:30 or probably the latest we'll go is 7:30 or 9. But
Crunch time.
Yeah, she gives us that time to get our schoolwork done. Theater is a big part and we need to crunch everything in, but she's very on getting your schoolwork and done. So we kind of balance it a lot. And if you're not on stage, you can also do some of your schoolwork in it.
Yeah, I remember sitting on the wrestling mats at night waiting for my scenes doing my algebra. So it can be done, but it does take a wider view with scheduling and accounting for all those things. So good for you for doing that. Any last comments just about the joy of fine arts and what your experience has been here at Roosevelt?
If you're scared to do it, just do it because it might be the best decision of your life. No, it will be the best decision of your life.
Hard to top that. You want to try?
One thing I can add about the technical side of theater is you learn a lot of very, very practical skills, very practical and very useful skills that you can carry on, all through your whole life that will be relevant to you, long past you're out of high school.
Yeah.
So, but yes, it is, theater, you learn a lot.
And
What we're trying to do.
Additionally, not only the life skills, not only the inclusivity, but you're going to learn how to hone a craft. And so you'll find an area. If you are an actor, I also make all my actors have a technical area because you need to have the skills for tech as well as skills for acting. And I can speak for all of the Sioux Falls School District programs. They are amazing directors, and you will really learn a lot from them and how to become a better actor and more confident in you as a person as well. I think you've learned some of those and really about how to be comfortable in your own skin in a character on stage.
Yeah.
And so I think you'll learn a lot by joining.
Super, super examples, great conversation. From Curtain Up to last show, it's a great experience, and we encourage everybody to come out and take advantage of the great shows coming up, and particularly The Princess.
The Little Princess. And then after that, we have Alice in Wonderland, which will be in black light.
Oh my goodness, you are really
We're gonna have fun with that show.
Yes.
We're gonna have fun with it.
Oh, I'm super excited to see the shows, and that'll be even more fun knowing all of you. So thanks for being on the podcast, and we'll look forward to some great shows.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.